Hey everyone, I'm Ian Baker. Welcome to the 2023 Winnebago Travato 59G. This is a great floor plan. It really only sleeps two, but you can definitely seat a lot more. But I just really enjoy the versatility that this one provides, from having the big ample storage space right here that's very easy to access to some of the unique seating up front. I actually want to start on the back here, talk a little bit about some of the stuff we back here. We'll make our way up front. We are at a show setting when we're filming this, so it's pretty tight, so I can't open these doors up, but I do just want to talk about the back here. So the first thing you'll see is your screen, and I really like the way that they have done this for 2023. They actually changed this in 22, I believe, but it is super simple to deploy. You simply undo the clips, drops down, you have a couple zippers. I like just the ease of use there. Also on this other side, there is storage back here. Again, you won't really be able to see it, but there is storage back there. And then on the right over here will be all of our water connections. You have an outside shower out there, as well as your valves for winterization and things like that. So just bear in mind there is some storage on both sides. Speaking of storage, you will see some underneath here too, pretty easy to access. In fact, this is where they actually put your jack. Hopefully you never have to use it, but always nice to have it very easily accessible. Some additional storage there. And then they have these guys here, again, just for some versatility when it comes to that storage. Of course, like most Class Bs, you have good storage right up top. Open those up just to kind of give you a quick peek there. Positive locking latches here, so you actually, these aren't just straight pulls, they actually pull down, you can see, and that is what unlocks them so that they open. The bed system here is actually pretty cool, and again, they changed this in 22. I'll drop that down. I do want to talk about these real quick because I'm not going to be able to show them, again, because of the setting we're in. But what these essentially are is you can remove these. You'll take these little latches here, and they will install. They'll slide right into here on either door. So that way when your doors are open, the two poles will just connect right into each other, and now you have one long pole. So if you need to hang anything from there, like, you know, towels, swimsuits, whatever it may be, or if you have, it actually comes with, rather, if you want like a little annex back there, it has a little curtain you can put on. It kind of creates like a separate little room, which is kind of nice. But for me, more than anything, I'd probably use it to hang up clothes or whatever else you need to hang. But just kind of cool how easily that sets up and stores away. Now the bed itself, let's get into that. It is just held by the seat belt, so we simply undo that, and then that will allow the bed to come down. Now, one of the things they changed, I believe, in 22, a couple things. One is you'll see it slatted, which is nice. The thing I like about this is it allows for airflow. So a lot of people don't know this, but if you don't have decent airflow underneath your mattress, it can actually start to create a mildew situation. So airflow is good, plus it provides some decent support. Aluminum structure here, so it's nice and strong. This side will sit on this ledge. The other side right here, you just pull this down and you can see it has legs. Now, the thing I like about this system is the fact that it actually has a built-in step right here just to make it a little bit easier. You know, the bed does sit up a little ways, and it can be pretty tough for a lot of people to get in and out of bed, so I like the included step. Another thing they changed is that this wall is cut back a little bit. It might be tough to see, but the further toward the door it goes, the more space you have. They did that to allow more space for people's shoulders, because when you had two people in here, it was definitely a tight squeeze. Don't get me wrong, it still is, but those couple extra inches do make a pretty big difference. One last thing I did want to mention before we go into the bathroom is this drop-down tray. I personally kind of like this. You just pull down like so. The thing I like about this, though, is it's a great spot for cell phones, as you have an electrical outlet right next to it. So if you need to charge cell phones at night, you have a convenient spot for them to sit. And again, as you recall, we do have the 1000-watt inverter in here. Plus we have, I think it's 220 watts of solar, so our solar controller is tucked right up here in this cabinet. But when we take a look at the bath itself, it's actually a pretty spacious wet bath. And I like what they've done. They've done a couple things here. One is they do give you a curtain you can put across to try to keep the toilet dry. I know that's a big issue with wet baths is, you know, you take a shower and your toilet stays dry or stays wet for a while, then you have to dry it off and kind of be a pain. So I do like that they put the curtain in there. Another thing I enjoy is the fact the shower head does have its own individual valve. It's not tied into the faucet, which is pretty great. So you have your own faucet and then a nice sink there, as well as, of course, some storage, a mirror, and then a fan up top. Speaking of up top, real quick, I do want to point out that your AC is located up here. You have a soft touch ceiling, which is nice, so it's not quite as loud when it rains. And then you will see the max air fan, which is right in the kitchen, exactly where you want it. Not only will this give you great airflow throughout the coach, but obviously if you're cooking, need to get some fumes out of here, that does an excellent job for it. Speaking of the kitchen, Cordian countertops in the Travato. You'll see that the 59G has your double cooktop here. If you have the 59GL, where we have the Pure 3 system and everything on there, this becomes induction. You will also see the residential style sink, nice big basket in there. I like the fact they actually have a solid surface cover on here too, that Corian cover, plus the countertop extension, so you have some pretty good prep space. A true high-rise faucet. You know, a lot of manufacturers claim they do, and it, you know, just as kind of a little guy like this one actually comes up nice and high, so you can fit some bigger pots and pans in there if you need to do dishes, which obviously we'll have to do from time to time. Great storage in the form of 3 different drawers. You can see that one's a little cut off. These 2 right here, you kind of get the full width, which is great. And then you have some additional space right here for a small trash can. That's also where your whole house filter will go. As I mentioned up top here, I do want to show you this. This is where your solar charge controller will be tucked away, so you can see that right in there in case you need to access that. And then across the way, our microwave 6 cubic foot NORCOLD 12 volt compressor driven refrigerator. So your refrigerator space is up top, and then you have the freezer right down below here. And then over to this side, this is really nice. This will be a wardrobe as well as or you can also use as pantry space, but you can see the hanging rod there. And then you get the adjustable shelves and a little mirror, so in case you need to, you know, check yourself out before you step out for the day, you have the ability to do that. Now, if we take a look, moving up a little bit further, we'll see the TV. This is on a swivel arm, so you can, you know, bring it out a little bit. So when you swivel your passenger and driver seats around, you can see it, or you can swivel it all the way around, so anyone that's back on the bed can watch it too. And then as we move up right up here, you can kind of see what they call the dinette. Now, this is a pretty nice system. You know, you can see you have the table, so if anyone needs to sit here, want to play cards, do work, you have the capability to do that. You have the seat belts here, and this table is actually on the, I believe it's the Lagoon system, pretty popular. Cool thing about this table is you can actually remove it from this side, and you can install it on the other side if you want. So that way, once you are at camp, the passenger can swivel around and they get a table. You'll also see the Ram Pro mounts. Those are all over. You have one here, you had one back by the bed up top, I forgot to mention. You have another one right here built into the grab handle. But those are really nice because you can have a bunch of extra mounts you can attach to them, like iPads, things like that just slide in super easily. You can see the windows. Now, this one does have the dual pane acrylic windows on here, which is an upgrade. So if you're looking for dual pane, know that you can get it on here like this one has. Otherwise, you would get the standard windows. Another cool thing I want to point out about this pillar is this one does have a power tower built into it as well. So again, when that passenger seat is swiveled around, you do get use of that. And you can kind of see, again, the dual pane acrylic window right there. I also like this screen that they use. I've seen a lot of Class Bs. They use a lot of different screens. Some of them slide, you know, they kind of jam a little tough. This one, it's just super simple and effective. It's just like we had in the back. You just unclip those. You can zip it up, zip it down, roll it up. Super simple to use. I love it. All your controls, of course, will be right up top with the exception of the solar control. So, you know, we see everything here as far as our tank and battery level, our Truma system. Speaking of Truma, I did forget to mention, Aaron, you want to tuck right back here. Sorry, buddy, I'm going to move you. So right here is the EcoHot. So this is pretty cool. It's kind of like the Water Miser, if you're familiar with that system on like some towables. Essentially what you do is you can turn this valve to preheat, and it's a recirc line, so that way you're not wasting waters, you're waiting for the water to get hot. So if you need hot water from your sink or in the bathroom, you can turn that for about 10 seconds or so. Your water will be hot, turn it back for normal use. Again, that way you're not, you know, A, draining the fresh tank, and B, filling up the gray tank unnecessarily. But again, that Truma is your water heater as well as the furnace control there, your inverter. You know, again, the majority of your controls will be located right up there. Some additional storage up top like you're used to in the Class Bs. You can see the privacy screen as well up front. Super comfortable seats here. You will notice the dash. They did give a bigger dash here for 23, so nice big infotainment system, which I love. You know, nice and simple, easy to use, very comfortable. It is built on the Ram Promaster chassis, as I'm sure you are very familiar. But as we mentioned, both of these seats do swivel around. One of the great parts of a Class B, of course, is you get to fully utilize everything in here. Even though it's a little bit smaller space, you get to use every square inch to your advantage. Now on the outside of the 59G, as I mentioned inside, this one is built on the Ram Promaster chassis. That of course does have the 3.6 liter V6 that puts out 280 horsepower. It also has an underhood 180 amp alternator and a 2800 watt generator to basically power everything inside. Now this particular one does have the Granite Deluxe exterior, and the deluxe basically means that they painted the fenders on here as well, so everything matches. Definitely looks really nice. You can see the running board on there. Of course, we have the power awning up top, some side lights. One of the other things I like is how big the entrance is, right? That's one of the things that are, I don't know, kind of stand out about the 2023 is just all this space you have in here. As I mentioned, the grab handle, as well as the Ram mount, kind of a 2-in-1, does make it nice and easy to get into this coach. I'll shut this just to kind of show you the windows. As I mentioned, these ones are acrylic, but you can see you do have a couple different windows here, including one in the back. Not all Class Bs will have the extra windows, so I do like that they have that, just again bringing in some of that additional light. As we make our way back a little bit further, of course, we have our connections here, and then on the very back, and you can see, as I mentioned, why I'm not able to open the doors, but you can see right here you have your 2 bike rack carrier. This of course drops down the ladder so you can climb up onto the roof there as well. And then this one also comes with the 3,500 pound tow capability. So if you need to tow, a vehicle behind you, this does have the capability to do it. The 2023 Travato 59G is an awesome coach. To see even more motorhomes, make sure you stick around.
Awesome.